Where are
It's
you
good.
at?
I ran an hour this morning. I'm running an hour most days, so Achilles are pretty good. Obviously, they were the thing that was setting me back, or holding me back, I suppose, after Beijing.
Yep.
So since the Great Australian Run, my priority has been to get those right and then put in place the support system that I thought was the best way forward. And as I said today, that's Chris Wardlaw, Adidas.
Yep.
And now Maury Plant's going to do my racing schedule with Rab, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling, the best environment, the best situation I've been in a long time, and it's all positive now. Just waiting for the body to heal, and then we move forward.
Last time I spoke to you, you were up in Ballarat training on your own, or training with a group, but coaching yourself, and now you've taken on Chris.
Well, the coaching situation back when I would have spoken to you in November last year was never going to be permanent.
Yeah.
It was just I hadn't made my mind up, so I didn't want to put anybody chuck them in the deep end or whatever. But I spoke to plenty of people. When I spoke with you, I was speaking to people overseas. I did some travelling and I met with plenty of people. And Chris Wardlaw was the right decision. It felt right, and that's the way I went.
What has he brought to your training? How's it changed?
Well, not much at the moment because I'm still in. See you, Scotty. All right, was I all right? Thank you so much. See you later. I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you. All right, cheers, mate. So he hasn't actually done much because at the moment I'm still in rehab, so to speak. So I'm being guided by my physio and a couple of specialists that are giving me advice on the Achilles, and Rab's obviously under guidance with them as well. So once I get them to be 100%, then he'll take over the reins.
Do you feel like you need to prove something to the people of Australia, to yourself, or not at all?
Look, I would love to be running at my best all the time, but that's impossible.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anybody, really, and that would be an ulterior motive which wouldn't be positive towards running. I just have to wait for my body to fix itself, get back. It sounds boring, and it is boring, but that's just how it is. I want to run like I did when I was 24, 25 years old. I didn't have any pain. I was able to run and do everything as well as I wanted. At the moment, I suppose I'm not doing certain things on the track because it irritates my Achilles. I'm not doing hill reps because it irritates my Achilles. All that sort of stuff, and that you can't afford to be 5% off in this sport. So I'm waiting so that I can do everything 100%, and then I'll go again.
Was the Great Australian Run a mistake, Craig, or?
No, that didn't tip it over the edge. They were gone before then. So the problem with them is that I've had them for a couple of years. So it was obviously the Olympics was disappointing, but it was also a major focus for me. So I did everything I could to get ready for that, irrespective of what my body was telling me. And there was always going to be a period afterwards that I needed to have a rest. And the Great Australian Run was an event that I want to be involved in because it was the inaugural one. It was the first one here, and I think it's a good race. It's a great event, so I wanted to be involved in the first one. I always knew that I wouldn't be 100%, but I still thought I could pull it off. For whatever reason, I always think that, so I went and did it anyway. And as I said, it didn't damage me any more than I was already damaged. But it's I want to do it again this year, that's for sure, and do it better.
Well, what about? Are you at a stage now where you can have a race schedule between now and time? No.
Not yet.
No.
Well, I'll meet with Maury and Rab and I will meet with Maury in the next fortnight. Obviously, Thursday night is the focus for everybody in track and field in Australia. It's going to be a big meet. Maury's got a lot of international guys out, so his focus is that. My focus is to get my Achilles right, and that's not going to change in the next 2 or 3 days, so it's really irrelevant right now. But once this all passes, then I'll sit down with Rab and Maury and work out a race schedule. I don't think I'll race until probably June. Simple as that.
Given that, what's realistic in doing?
Well, that's a loaded question because I think it will help me. Well, I think it'll help me. I mean, the last couple of years I've been running every day, twice a day, 365 days of the year, and you go into a lot of the events just overdone. And I think that the time off will do me good. It has done me good. I'm now back running, but I'm not in full training. And really, if you want to break it down, I'll be in full training come April. It'll give me April, May, June, 3 months of full training. July, start racing. August, World Championships. It doesn't really get any better than that. I mean, so at the moment there's no pressure, and really, this year I would love to go to the World Championships and run well. It's simple, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world.
I know when you said you split with Nick, that if that didn't happen, then there's no way London could have happened. It would have been an unbelievably long 4 years.
It would have been a tough 4 years, and through no other reason than it would have been the same stuff every day, all day, every day. And for Nick and myself, it was the best decision. So he's obviously got some rejuvenated enthusiasm into the sport. He's got some good athletes, and he's giving his focus to them. Where for me, my focus is now solely on me, and with my new coach Chris and whatever, and we're taking a slightly different approach, a more conservative approach for the time being, to allow my body to heal, and then I think I'll run well.
Is Delhi?
Delhi, I'll run it.
You've drawn a lot in the past from the big training group you had. We've been close with them, whatever.
They're my mates. Why would that ever change?
Yeah. So that'll be a similar sort of feel for you, yeah?
Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, I was up at Falls, Collis was there, Andy Baddeley was there, Gary Henry was there. So all the guys, all the same people are around. That's not going to change. Okay, I don't have as much to do with them as I would have previously done, but it doesn't change. I still go play table tennis and I win. Go to the pub, have a beer, throw darts, whatever. That doesn't matter. It's just that for the 2 or 3 days a week that the sessions come up, they're a little bit different. So what? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Doesn't really make that much difference. It's the feel of it and the fact that I now have a little bit more control over what I'm doing, and I'm happy with that.
How was it to make that decision, Craig? After?
It was tough. It was a tough decision because I was giving up everything that I knew. You know, I was making a tough decision, and I always knew there'd be a couple of steps back before I went forward in doing it, but I thought it was necessary to do it. So Nick was good. I spoke to him and we had a good chat, and he was relieved, and I was relieved, and we go forward.
You talked about during the speech and during the hit.
How'd I go?
Yeah, good.
It was all right.
It was interesting. Yeah, that's
good.
great. That you felt maybe you're taking the wrong path. Had you felt that before Beijing at all? Had it been creeping up in you, or was it crystallised in that moment?
I didn't actually, it wasn't until you finish and you go back, and that's what I said, hindsight's wonderful. You can look back over it and say, pick out everything that we did wrong, and there are several things that we did wrong. I didn't race enough was one. I hadn't run a 5k between March and Melbourne and then the World Championships, which meant I wasn't ranked, which means I was stuck in whatever semi-final they drew me in, which always makes it a little bit tougher. And I wasn't as confident as I would have liked to have been over the distance, and I didn't know how fast I could finish. I didn't know how long I would last. There were just things that you don't really notice until you get out on the start line and you start thinking, well, shit, maybe I should have done. I wish I had done this, or I should have done that. But again, those things, they pop up afterwards, and you learn. Hopefully I don't make the same. I'll make the same mistake again, no doubt, sometime in the future. But I'm more open-minded with it, and hopefully at the end of the day, the big races come and I do the right thing.
I mean, Calvin said you wanted to crawl away. Did you?
No, he made that up.
He just made it up.
Well,
it wasn't that bad.
Not really. I mean, I didn't want. Obviously it wasn't very good, but it's only sport, and there's other things in my life that I enjoy. I'm still at university. I've got great friends back here that don't care if I run or I don't. I've got a dog that likes me regardless. He'll still be at home. Whether I stuff this speech up today, he still like me, so that was what was keeping me coming. So, so what? I mean, the Olympics was disappointing because I put so much effort into it, and other people did. Nick did, Maury did, my girlfriend did, my parents did, everything. It was not easy, and then when you stuff it up like that, you feel bad for yourself and everybody else. But you come home, you face up to it, and you move on.
Do you feel the expectation, or does that play any part in it, that people expect you to run well, or the reasons you did?
I understand the history of Australian distance running. I understand that we've got a great heritage in it. But at the end of the day, it's a very different sport now to what it was 50 years ago. So I think that I'm doing quite well. And the fact that I'm running at the Olympics is pretty good anyway, and that's what people generally say to you. If you say, oh, it's crap, they say, well, not many people go to the Olympics anyway. But the pressure comes from yourself because you think that you should do better than you do. Even if you come second, you're always going to wish you had won. So, unless you win, you're never happy. Ask Steve Hooker, he's probably happy, but then he probably wishes he jumped 6 metres. I don't know. So there's always that. It's just the way athletes are. You always want a little bit more.